What's up guys, I'm Random Frank P, back with a video on the top 5 gaming keyboards from 2019, factoring things like sales, overall feedback, and my personal opinion, giving you guys a list of the best from the past year in case you want to check them out. And keep in mind, with the holidays coming up, we got Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals, odds are you might find these a bit cheaper than their usual retail price. If you want to check any of them out, I'll put a link for you in the description down below, as well as some honorable mentions and stuff like that. So first off is a keyboard pretty much in its own category, the only one really like it on this list, the Logitech G915 Lightspeed, a very thin, wireless, mechanical keyboard. And with the advancement of wireless technology over the past few years, there's really no excuse to scoff at a wireless keyboard anymore. In Logitech, with their Lightspeed technology, you are getting an ultra-fast 1 millisecond response time, so you don't have to worry about this interrupting you during your gameplay. You will not be able to tell the difference between a wired and a wireless connection here. Also, a common concern with wireless keyboards is battery life. This is rated for 30 hours at full 100% brightness, so you're getting great battery life overall. The board itself is a brushed aluminum, nice and thin, with a low profile design. So checking it out in terms of physical features, on the board you have 5 dedicated macro keys on the left side. They're the G keys as they call them. You also have 3 onboard profiles you can switch between, and an onboard macro recorder. Then over on the right side of the board, you have dedicated multimedia controls and a nice scrolling volume wheel. Now what's also great about this is Logitech gives you 3 different key switch options, their very own GL Clicky, GL Tactile, and GL Linear. So the fact that we have these low profile mechanical switches in here is really cool, plus the fact that you can pick between the 3 to fit your certain preference of gameplay and typing. And since they're low profile, they have a shorter travel distance by actuating at 1.5 millimeters with a total travel distance of 2.7 millimeters. So in my unit here, I have GL Linear, which is their red linear switch. I'll do a sound test now so you can hear how this particular switch sounds. So again, the G915 Lightspeed, a very thin, ultra low profile, wireless mechanical keyboard, definitely the best of its kind on the market right now. Again, you factor in the 3 different switch types, the fact that it has 30 hours of battery life at a full 100% brightness with the RGB, dedicated, macro keys, multimedia controls, and the fact that it's just a 1 millisecond response time over the Lightspeed technology. It can also pair to a second Bluetooth device if you want to have this connected to 2 different devices at once. Now it does come at a pretty hefty price tag of $250, although when I just checked on Amazon it was $230. But like I said in the beginning, keep an eye out for Black Friday or Cyber Monday deals. Hopefully this thing goes on sale. Coming in at number 4 on this list is the SteelSeries Apex Pro. This came out during the summer, I believe, and it's another one of the keyboards that's in its own kind of category on this list because of their analog switches with their customizable OmniPoint switches. So this gives you the option to pretty much have the world's fastest mechanical keyboard, allowing for customization of the actuation distance from 0.4 millimeters to 3.6 millimeters. These linear OmniPoint switches are rated for 100 million key presses as well, so they're highly durable. So in terms of physical features, pretty much everything can be controlled here from the top right-hand side of the keyboard, where you have this sort of smart button and dial. Utilizing that OLED screen right next to it, here you can do things like change up songs through Spotify, adjust volume for your media controls, change the keyboard's brightness, a bunch of other settings as well, which will link to the keyboard, like changing up profiles, the RGB lighting, even load up some graphics and GIFs. But here is where you can also control and adjust your OmniPoint switches on the fly. So you don't really need the software, you can do it all just right here on the board. Some of the noteworthy things is on the back side, we have a USB pass-through, and the keyboard comes with a detachable rubberized wrist rest. And again, we'll do a sound test of the linear OmniPoint switches. So in the end, it's a really great keyboard in the analog keyboard category. Like I said, definitely one of the best of 2019 out there. Only thing to point out though about this is that the main 60 keys are the OmniPoint switches. Everything else on this keyboard is a red linear switch. This retails for $200, and again, let's hope that drops in price. Coming in at number 3 on this list is another Logitech keyboard. Yes, they've had some pretty good improvements to their keyboard lineup over the year. This is the G Pro X. And there's 2 main reasons why this is on this list yet again. So this is an update to their very popular top-selling G Pro keyboard from 2017, but now we have the 2019 refresh with the G Pro X. So the number one reason that this made the list really is because of the upgrade they made to their new mechanical switches and the possibility we have of swapping them out with their hot swap PCB. Now for the actual switches, like the G915 Lightspeed, we have 3 different options to pick from: a GX Clicky, GX Tactile, and GX Linear. Swapping the switches out is very easy. You just use their included key switch puller, you pinch the prongs in the top and bottom of the switch, pull it out, and then just pop in a new switch. And another cool thing you can do with this is say you don't want to use their 3 switches. Instead, if you want, you could buy your own switches from Novelkeys or anywhere else and use them. So yes, you can use some Box Jade switches if you want a nice super thick click. You really aren't limited. But in terms of design, it is literally identical to the 2017 G Pro. It's the same layout, the same features. It looks exactly the same. But just the main thing here is the new mechanical switches and their hot swap PCB. So with this particular configuration, I have their GX Blue clicky switches, so we'll do a sound test so you could hear how they sound. Now the only annoying thing that I wish they would have changed for the 2019 refresh is the fact that it uses their micro USB with the prongs for the connection there. I just wish it was USB-C. And as for price, this retails at $150, and it's actually only available exclusively on Logitech's website. Now coming in at number 2 on this list is the Razer Huntsman Tournament Edition. And this is probably Razer's best keyboard to date. They made a lot of great improvements, listened to community feedback, and in the end, gave us one of the best keyboards out there. It's always good to know when a company is listening, and the fact they made a ton of popular changes to this is a step in the right direction every day of the week. Taking a look at it, the TKL layout here is a personal favorite. I always prefer this kind of layout. Looks more compact on a desktop, and it's a pretty clean design. It's made with an aluminum top plate for improved durability, and it feels pretty solid as well. Now getting into those new features, first up we have brand new PBT double shot keycaps. They're more durable, there's no ugly gamer font on them, and they have a nice texture to be oil resistant, as they say. Next is a standard bottom row finally. This means that you can use, any other keycap set that you might already have, and it's actually gonna fit the bottom row. Which yes, is why I'm using different colored keycaps, just to show you that it's actually a possibility now. Third improvement is a USB Type-C port. Again, it might seem little, but it's the fact that they're listening. We've been requesting USB Type-C for years, and now we have it. And the last new features to this keyboard are their brand new linear optomechanical switches. We saw the clicky purple optomechanical switch in their Huntsman Elite keyboard from last year, but now we have a red linear option. But these switches are much faster than a traditional linear mechanical switch, with a shorter actuation distance at just 1 millimeter, and we have a durability rating of up to 100 million clicks, plus a 2-year warranty on the keyboard. So again, with the optomechanical switches, it's not relying on a traditional, metal-to-metal contact to actually transport the signal to your PC. It's all done through an infrared light beam, so the second it's actuated, the signal is sent immediately to your PC. We'll do a sound test with the linear optomechanical switches. So you factor in all the changes they made, and it's just a really good step in the right direction. Big thumbs up for Razer here for listening to all the feedback over the years and giving us a keyboard with features that people have been asking for quite some time, and not overcharging either. It's $130, which is more than fair, a really great price point for a really, really great keyboard. It was really a struggle deciding whether this should be number 2 or number 1 on this list, but ultimately I decided at number 2 because number 1 is, I think, the more popular complete option. But coming in at number 1 for the best keyboard in my opinion of 2019 is the Ducky One 2 Mini RGB. I think by far it's the most popular mechanical keyboard option that I've seen over the year. As the host of Room Tour Project, I see this all the time, and it's always customized. So it's really doing a great job of bridging the gap between the gaming community and the enthusiast keyboard community, giving us a really great keyboard. With a 60% layout here, again, it's great for saving space on your desktop, and it looks really nice with the kind of split difference of the black top plate and the white bottom frame. But it also comes in 2 different color options as well, with a all white variant, so you can pick between the 2, whatever is going to suit your setup theme. And then obviously you can completely customize it, get a custom braided coil cable, match it to the accented colored keycaps, or for like the white option like I have those pudding keycaps on here in the white finish, so it just looks really nice, makes the RGB really pop, which is why I think these keyboards are so popular, because you can customize them, and like I said, it really bridges that gap between the gaming and enthusiast community. Some other things to note is we do have improved stabilizers and a USB Type-C input on the backside. The keycaps they include stock inside the box are PBT, and they have these secondary character keys and functions printed on the front of the keycap for easy reference. Another thing I really like is the fact that there is no software for these keyboards. You control all the RGB lighting on the keyboard itself, but I would make sure to refer to that manual, so don't throw that away, because for the really customized effects and stuff, you can change it up on the keyboard itself, but it's not easy to remember, so just keep that manual, on hand. Some of the effects can get tricky. In terms of switches, these use genuine cherry switches with MX Blue, Reds, and Browns available. In my unit here, I have the Cherry MX Red switches, so we'll do this sound test so you could hear how they sound. All things considered, this keyboard just checks off all the boxes, and I think it is the number 1 gaming keyboard on the market right now from 2019. This does come in at $130, which again, extremely fair, a great price for this. And while that will do it for the top 5 of 2019, before you head out, we do have an honorable mention that deserves to be mentioned on this list. And that's the glorious GMMK Compact. And as the name implies, with compact, it's a 60% layout, hence the GMMK Compact name. This keyboard also gives some really great customization options. The keyboard itself is sleek and black with a sandblasted aluminum faceplate, and I like the beveled edges here. And the reason why this one makes the honorable mention list is because, again, of the Hotswap PCB and the fact that you can configure this with pretty much any switch you want. They have an option to build your own keyboard on the website. You can pick from the keycaps, the layout, the keyboard size, and they have a ton of switch options from Glorious that they provide for you. So you're not limited to just 3, there are tons of different ones. I won't do a sound test for this one, but in here I have Kailh Pro Purple, and you can pick from whatever sort of switch would fit your preference. Now in terms of price, stock on the website, it's $110 with Gateron Brown switches, but the final price for you and your keyboard is gonna vary depending on the switches you pick, the keycaps, all that kind of stuff. But again, the GMM Compact definitely deserved to be mentioned here. So alright guys, that'll wrap it up for the top 5 gaming keyboards of 2019, even though it's really 6. Like I said before, I'll have them all listed for you in the description down below, so you can check them out and keep an eye on these deals for maybe some Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday sales. What I'm also gonna do in the description is also put my review, if I reviewed that keyboard, so you can check it out and more, detailed, a more in-depth look at the keyboard if you're interested, plus a few other honorable mentions that did not make the overall video, video, but still I think could have if you wanted this video to be 2 hours long. So check the description down below for everything. That'll wrap it up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of top 5 videos coming up for the holidays. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.